wonderful people. So for today's video, a little while back, I ended up making a video where I talked about, secret identities for superheroes and whether they're important or not anymore. Obviously comparing like the MCU movies to like the DCEU as well as the DC shows, like, the whole Arrowverse situation. Oh, for today's video, I want to focus on one particular superhero, and I guess technically this applies to a few other superheroes as well, but I want to focus on Superman. Now, the reason why is because he has the whole secret identity thing as Clark Kent. And growing up, I've always felt like this, as well as hearing other people bring it up. Always like how Clark Kent is like, how is that a secret identity that works? Because the whole thing about Clark Kent, oh wow, I'm not wearing glasses, I'm Superman. Oh wow, I'm wearing glasses, I'm Clark Kent. It's like, how can you not tell the difference? You look exactly the same, yet no one can, the always thought process was it was the worst disguise. But now that I'm older, I think I've come to understand why Clark Kent works as a disguise. Because when it comes to the glasses thing, it isn't just the glasses themselves. The glasses themselves are symbolic of him being different from who he is. Because the whole thing behind the Clark Kent disguise is to be ordinary, not to seem special. Because the fact of the matter is, like, there's been aspects and things I've seen that's shown him as being clumsy. Asterisk, never read comic books, but just like I said, from the things I've seen, it's always been like, oh, making yourself seem super clumsy, and it's like, okay, this guy's super clumsy, there's no way he could be Superman. Because it's one of those things that kind of make yourself seem like more fragile and weaker than you are. Because that way it's like, well, people just, people won't really think too much. I doubt anyone's really going to be thinking like, could it really be him? It's like, no way, this guy's super clumsy. He's messing up all the time. Like, he's always, the argument could always be like, oh man, he's always super late. There's no way he could be Superman. Because Superman is literally like the Man of Steel, as I've talked about many times before, and a lot of, like, as things have come out, I've come to be like, oh wow, never realized how much of like Superman's seen almost as like a god. That just applies to all Kryptonians. But it's easy to be like, wow, like Superman's like up here and Clark Kent's like way down here. There's no way, because there's no way Superman would stoop himself so low as to be some regular dude. It's like, if Superman had a disguise, at the very least he'd make himself, special in some regard. I mean, because look, take Batman. I mean, even when Bruce isn't Batman, what is he off doing? Oh, he's off being a billionaire. It's like, and I mean, to be fair, it's not like, other superheroes don't have the same situation of like having regular jobs. I mean, let's take Barry, for example. Barry's like a crime scene forensic scientist. So it's like, he has a regular job. I mean, it's still like not like it's a good, like a bad job or anything. It's actually a really good job, but it's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, you're a superhero and you just have a regular job. I think it's just something people don't really ever think about. Like, oh yeah, because I think people probably just look at it as like, oh yeah, this person's like a superhero 24/7. Maybe, I don't know. It also goes back to that conversation I brought up in a different video about like, oh yeah, like superheroes needing that downtime as regular people, and I'm curious, do most people even think about that or not? I mean, because like I said, I still think like compared to most secret identities, like Superman kind of has some of the worst, like has the worst. I mean, him, Kara, like I've brought up before too, I never even thought about the whole like Wonder Woman situation, because I pretty much thought of her as Wonder Woman 24/7. I never knew she had like a secret identity as Diana Prince until like the movies kind of brought that to my attention. I was like, oh wow, you just have a regular secret identity. That just kind of interesting. You just have like a regular job too. I mean, because at least other superheroes have masks and stuff like that. So, I mean, obviously some have more of a mask than others. Like, comparing any of the Green Lanterns who just have like one little bit of a mask, but still like most of your face is exposed. Cause going back to the Superman thing, like a show that I think handled it in a very interesting way is kind of a different approach. It's the TV show Smallville. Because before he became Superman, because if you don't know, basically throughout the entire series of Smallville, he doesn't actually become Superman until the last episode of the show. But basically in between, he's always helped people, but because he's super fast, he could always hide his identity. It's like, oh yeah, someone's about to get shot, I can run, block the bullet, knock this person out, and then come back in like, oh my god, what just happened? It's like, I don't know, someone just saved me, I don't know what it was. And later on, around season 7 or 8, I think, he ends up becoming a superhero known as the Blur. He's basically a vigilante. He's known as a Blur because he moves so fast that that's all people can see. So that was one way of going about it. Like, that's another way he doesn't have to worry about his whole like secret identity being exposed and everything. I mean, that's definitely how he kept Lois from learning his secret identity for such a long time, but he talked to her and everything, but he used like a voice changer and everything. And once again, it's just like the whole aspect of like, well, Clark is cool and interesting, but there's no way Clark can be like the Blur, you know? It's still that same concept. But another interesting thing when you think about it too, is like, well, the fact of the matter is like, this is like the digital age. Maybe back then it couldn't work. Like back when Superman was originally created, it could work, the whole like Clark Kent thing, because it's like, well, maybe not everyone would get to see Superman up close, and even if they did, they'd be so focused on everything else, they really wouldn't focus too much on his face, which, you know, supervillains I'm sure have done, you know, would do that. Like, no, I need to find out who you are, and maybe they have in the past. Once again, asterisk, don't know comic books that well. But like, you take something like the DCEU as well as the Arrowverse, like this applies to both Superman and Kara. It's like, this is kind of the digital age. I'm sure there's plenty of videos that have gone viral about Superman and Supergirl, and it's kind of like, oh wow, Clark, Superman looks a lot like you, but once again, just kind of like, what? You really think that? Nah, there's no way. I'm not cool enough to be Superman. I'm sure Kara will make kind of like the same excuse, but it's like, I'm sure there's a lot, like, so you can't be like, oh, there's no way that's never come up. It's like, no, there's got to be like viral videos of them, and someone's at their jobs, you know, whether it be the Daily Planet or Catco, has to be like, wow, you really look like this superhero. Like, has no one ever told you that before? But once again, the whole situation, you could also make the argument, most of the times when they show up, people are running for their lives, is danger type of situation. So maybe you can make the excuse that people don't see their faces that often, especially because of their jobs too, which the fact is Clark's a reporter and so is Kara, so it's like, how can no one still make that? I don't know, like, I think it's such, I don't know, it's like I said, it goes back to the whole situation. I think it's to make yourself seem unassuming, like you just don't stand out in the crowd. Is kind of the whole point. Once again, the glasses are symbolic for that, and also it's kind of symbolic for being able to learn how to focus your abilities, you know, in particular like Kara having the trouble of being able to shut off her x-ray vision. It gives her kind of a more, it kind of puts the world more in focus for her. Like I said, these are just my random thoughts about it. Honestly, like, this is just like some off the top of my head thoughts about why I feel like it would work, but still kind of wouldn't. But I'd love to get to know your thoughts about it. What do you think? Do you kind of get what I'm getting at about the whole, like, how his whole secret identity thing could work, or do you feel like, no, it doesn't matter, it's still like the dumbest like secret identity in like superhero history? I mean, the fact of the matter is, you might actually know secret identities that might actually be worse. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments down below about this whole thing. You know, I'm not knowledgeable about all things superheroes, so I'd love to learn, you know, more on the subject. So I'd, you know, end up doing my own research afterwards. Maybe I'll make another video where I talk about other secret identities that are kind of like along the same lines. But really, that's all I want to talk about in this video. So the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.